We're going to do a breakdown on everything that was announced at the Square Enix Presents digital showcase. If you like our video, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. On with the news.
Let's do it.
Square Enix inaugurated a new livestream event called Square Enix Presents with a 40-minute presentation on Thursday that highlighted what's new and what's next in the publisher's catalog. So the big announcement was Life is Strange True Colors.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, I enjoyed it. It's like a typical Life is Strange where this person has powers that is unexplained, and it talks about a character here, a female character, having the powers to pretty much feel the emotion of a character and empathy of it, and show the true colors of that character as part of his gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, just like a typical Life is Strange game, it's like a very emotionally driven storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So the main character is a young Asian American woman, and she moves to Colorado to with her brother, and well, the trailer shows it. Her brother dies, and she sort of has to discover, I guess, the circumstances that led to her brother dying.
Now, what's interesting about this is not developed by the same people as Don't Not. It's actually developed by a different company, Deck Nine.
Because I'm not familiar with Deck Nine, I don't know what type of games they have, so I don't know what to. I don't have like something to compare it to, Like,
all right. So this is pretty much what they did so far before Life is Strange, because obviously they're working on the remaster for Before the Storm and the remaster for the collection, but we could talk about that later. But in terms of what they made prior to that, they were actually called something else. They were called Idle Minds, and I guess they changed their names to Deck Nine recently. But as Idle Minds, they made the Ratchet Clank collection. They made some iOS games linked together, and before that, Neopets. They made a game called Pain, My Streets, Cool Borders, 2001. So, like, not super high value games from what I see here from Deck Nine. However, I guess they changed their name. Back in 2017, Idle Minds announced that it will focus on narrative-driven games, now with the new trademark as Deck Nine. So that's probably why they teamed up with, or continue working, I should say, with Square Enix beyond the games that we announced today.
I haven't played Life is Strange Before the Storm, but apparently there's a character in True Colors. This character, Steph, she's apparently in Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Interesting. So it's somehow linked in the same universe.
Yeah. So I haven't played Life is Strange 2 yet. So I don't know if all the Life is Strange games all take place in the same universe.
I'm not too sure either. It's a possibility.
Yeah, but it's interesting to know that True Colors is tied with the original Life is Strange universe through that character Steph.
That character.
So Donut's original Life is Strange games are going to be completely remastered for next gen.
I'm guessing using the same engine as Deck Nines, because both Life is Strange and Before the Storm is going to be, I guess, made or remastered by also Deck Nine.
Yes, yeah, and I think they mentioned how they did like improve motion capture and animation.
That's pretty much the basics, I think. Maybe some added better colors in terms of like the better lighting effects and all that. Pretty much using the same engine that they're using with the True Colors, I would imagine.
So interesting thing to note is that when you purchase the Life is Strange True Colors Ultimate Edition, you do get the remastered Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. And
is there a price on that?
I don't have a price, but the release date is September 10th of this year. So we covered this game back in Sony's State of Play from last year. We covered a
Yes.
game called well, it was Project Athia at that point. Now it's they released more information about it, and its name was changed to Forspoken. First announced at PlayStation's June 2020 event, the all-new IP from Luminous Productions, originally called Project Athia, now has a title, Forspoken. The action-adventure stars Ella Balinska as the protagonist Frey Holland, facing off against dragons and other colossal beasts in an untamed land.
Graphically beautiful, but it was more like a teaser animation. There was some gameplay in it, but obviously you definitely want to see more about it. Maybe a little more story, but it seems interesting for the most part. It kind of reminded me of like if you made it, if it was like Breath of the Wild, but more realistic graphics.
Mm.
And the way she's able to move so quickly through some of the I guess her sprint animation kind of also reminded me of if you ever played what's that game called Journey, kind of like the same kind of like animation with the character, but of course mixed in with some story and I don't know, actual open world. It feels open world anyway, in terms of what we saw in the trailer.
And interesting to note, Forspoken will be a PlayStation 5 console exclusive when it launches in 2022, but it will be coming out to Windows PC eventually.
Yeah, so a time exclusive is probably
Yeah.
the correct terminology here. But as far as what we saw, like obviously this is a great stepping stone, and I'm interested to see a brand new IP because right now we're getting to a point where we're seeing sequels upon sequels or remakes upon remakes, and it's nice to see something fresh, something different, and that's what we're getting here. So speaking of PlayStation real quick, there's also some news that came out, that broke out actually, of the new PSVR 2 controller. And let's just briefly talk about this real quick and just talk about the controller itself and what it means for VR gaming in the next generation. These were the previous controllers, these freaking PS Moves controllers with those glowing balls in the end. These were what we had to deal with for the most part. So from this to that, it's definitely a much needed improvement. Some other features included, of course, they're going to feature adaptive triggers similar to the PS5 controller right now, haptic feedback, as we mentioned, the finger touch detection, tracking of course, where you are in the aspect of it. And I'm pretty sure it's not mentioned here in this article, but I'm pretty sure you still need the new PS5 camera included with the PS5, not the old camera from the PS4. You can still use the PS4 camera with the old PSVR, but of course with the new VR coming out, you probably need the new camera.
Outriders.
Honestly, from the trailer, I wasn't really that impressed with it. Honestly, to me, it just felt like a generic RPG third-person shooter, loot shooter type thing. I don't know. Some people are excited for it, but I wasn't really feeling that excitement from other people that were excited for it. Some good news with it, regardless, is that if you do have the Xbox Game Pass, same day you will get it available for free if you have the Game Pass. So that's a perk if you have it.
And then they also announced another game called Balan's Wonderland. According to this, the 3D platforming coming from director Yuji Naka and artist Naoto Oshima harkens back to two works for Sega in the 1990s. Launches on March 26th, and Square Enix dropped a launch trailer. It showed off the game's dozen or so characters and dozen or so outfits. So what do you think of this?
It's very cutesy. Kind of reminds me of something like I don't know, like Fortnite type graphics. Obviously more cartoonish than anything. Was it? I think it was a platformer, wasn't it? I think it was a platformer. Yeah, so it's all right. Like I'm not really that big in different platforming type games. I have tried multiple platform games that came out for the PS5 and of course from Switch and whatnot. But I don't know. It's one of those games where you have to play with friends to really get the full experience with it. But just watching a trailer, I wasn't that hyped for it. But I can see where it could be fun.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, it's launching March 26th, which is pretty soon. and it will be available on Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, Xbox X.
Wow. Pretty much everything except Stadia, apparently.
Yeah. So I guess I can talk about this next one since I've been playing Avengers a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, they've recently announced the Black Panther War for Wakanda expansion. So Avengers have gotten kind of, the word I can use is stale. There hasn't been a lot of content. The end game is sort
I
of,
mean, they have content, but it's like repetitive, same old gameplay content.
it's repetitive, yeah, but a lot of like the players are complaining that it doesn't have any like meaningful end game content. But they recently released a new storyline involving Hawkeye and Kate Bishop,
Mhm.
and they've been talking about, they've teased that Black Panther is eventually going to come out, and they finally made an official announcement. So it's going to be an expansion pack. It's called Black Panther War for Wakanda. They're labeling it as an expansion pack, so I wonder if they're going to charge people for it. The Kate Bishop and Hawkeye DLC is free, so I don't know if this is going to be free as well. So they didn't really
Specify.
they didn't really specify. They released like a 2021 content roadmap, which I'll have up on the screen. So in March, they're releasing the next gen console upgrade along with the Hawkeye DLC.
I heard that was free as well, the upgrade.
Yeah, that's free. For spring, they have Tachyon Anomaly, which is, I guess, is like a new mission type. I'm not too familiar with this one. And then Red Room Takeover, which I guess is like a new mode for like the harm room missions. For summer and beyond, they have something called Cosmic Cube. I guess it's like a new mission, and then Wasteland Patrol, which is like another mission type, and then eventually War for Wakanda expansion. The only two really significant upgrades is like the upcoming next gen console upgrade, and then the Wakanda expansion, which I assume they're gonna release in the fall. So in between that and now, they're gonna implement like little tiny upgrades. It's a little annoying that the content,
They're like dragging it out.
yeah, they're dragging it out sort of, and there's like a lot of space in between like the significant content. So it is what it is, but it's something. The game is getting better, so it's just taking a while to get there. So yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to Black Panther. They also announced the Tomb Raider Definitive Survival Trilogy. So this is obviously like the Tomb Raider remakes, like the Tomb Raider 2012, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadows of the Tomb Raider.
Correct.
So for
it's only $19.99 apparently, but it says here it will go up to $49.99 in 2 weeks. So I guess during the initial, is it now? I think it's available right now actually for $19.99.
Oh,
so
you can
on sale, I think.
You can okay, cool. If you don't already own the game, it's a great deal, because like I already own all three games, and not to mention PlayStation Plus is, I think they've given away all three games as part of their free games per month thing.
Yeah, these are just gonna be I guess right now it's available for $19.99 and will go up in about 2 weeks to $50. So get it while it's cheap if you don't already have these titles.
Yeah, so the next game they announced was Just Cause Mobile.
I wasn't really that excited for it. I think a lot of people were hoping for like another Just Cause, like 4. I think it's the next upcoming one, but they just released a mobile, which is cool for the mobile. I guess people that play mobile games. It featured action-packed story campaign and a free-to-play package. No, there's no launch date on it as of yet, but sometime later in the year for Android and iOS devices.
Next game they announced, Space Invaders AR.
Now, this was actually kind of interesting. Like, I'm a big advocate for like AR technology, and the fact that they're releasing AR technology for games that obviously Space Invaders, it's very, I guess, in a very small scale. Obviously, when you think about AR, you think about Pokemon Go You think about stuff like that kind of premise. But I love anything that's AR, and I think that's definitely the future in terms of gaming. And once we get rid of this whole VR thing with the PlayStation, I'm hoping eventually we'll see like a PlayStation AR console. I think that would be cool. I don't know how they would do that, but AR I think is definitely the way to go in the future.
So what game are you looking forward to the most that we talked about?
Definitely I'm interested in Forspoken, and I'm curious about the True Colors Life is Strange, only because I haven't played Life is Strange 2, only because I heard like mixed reviews on that. But I might give that a shot, and of course, I'm very curious to see what the remaster is like for the original Life is Strange and Before the Storm. Those are the big ones for me. And obviously, Tomb Raider is always a good game, but I already have it like Riven does, so there's no need for me to rebuy it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to Life is Strange, True Colors, and I guess maybe the Avengers, like the content stuff for Avengers, because I still play it every now and then. Like like a couple of my friends might invite me to log on and play if I have time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, you can support us by liking and subscribing. And feel free to leave a comment down below. See you guys in the next video.